Stop chaining 12 tools together. That era is dead. Google killed it. Over the last 2 weeks, Google rolled out Veo 3 with native audio inside AI Studio and upgraded Gemini 2.5 Pro to a 2 million token context window. And while everyone was posting reaction videos about how cool the DMOS looked, almost nobody said the quiet part out loud. The entire cottage industry of AI workflow automation, the courses, the templates, the guru threads telling you to stitch together ChatGPT plus 11 labs, plus Runway plus Zapier plus Notion plus whatever else they get affiliate money from, all of it just became a relic. The villain here is not Google. Google is just doing what platform companies do. The villain is the workflow grift economy. For 2 years, a class of content creators and course sellers built their entire brand around teaching you to duct tape 5, 8, sometimes 12 separate AI tools into a Frankenstein pipeline. They called it automation. It was not automation. It was manual labor with extra API keys, and they charged you for it. Now here is the proof, and I am going to give you 3 technical reasons this house of cards is collapsing. Point 1. Veo 3 generates video with synchronized dialogue and ambient audio natively. That means the old pipeline of generate a script, send it to a TTS service, download the audio, find stock footage on Pexels, drop it into a timeline, and export that 5-step assembly line is now a single API call. One model, one inference pass, video with sound out the other end. The latency savings alone are brutal. You are going from 45 minutes of human wrangling to under 90 seconds of generation time. Every tool in the middle of that old chain just lost its reason to exist. Point 2. Gemini 2.5 Pro with a 2 million token context window eliminates the need for RAG-based script chunking. The old workflow gurus taught you to split long source material into chunks, embed them in a vector database, retrieve relevant pieces at generation time, and then stitch the output together. That was necessary when context windows were 8,000 tokens. It is not necessary when you can drop an entire book, an entire season of transcripts, an entire product documentation set directly into the prompt. RAG is still useful for enterprise search at scale. But for content creators doing research-to-script pipelines, the retrieval layer is now overhead, not infrastructure. You are maintaining a vector database you no longer need. Point 3. Pricing architecture. Google appears to be deliberately undercutting the middleware stack. Gemini 2.5 Pro in AI Studio is free at the experimental tier and aggressively cheap at the production tier. Veo 3 Access is rolling out inside the same ecosystem. When your script generation, your video generation, and your audio generation all live inside one provider's API at near zero marginal cost, every third-party connector becomes a tax. Zapier becomes a tax. Make becomes a tax. The $12 a month TTS subscription becomes a tax. The rational economic move is consolidation into a single inference provider, and Google is pricing it so the math is obvious. If you are following this, and it makes sense, subscribe. The people profiting from your complicated setup are not going to tell you any of this. Now here is the strongest counterargument. People will say single provider lock-in is dangerous. They will say you should never depend on one company for your entire pipeline because they can change pricing, kill features, or rug pull your access. And honestly, that is a legitimate concern. But here is the thing. You were already locked in. You were locked into 5 providers instead of 1, each with its own terms of service, its own rate limits, its own deprecation schedule. The fragility was not reduced by spreading it across 12 tools. It was multiplied. One broken node in a 12-step chain kills the whole pipeline. One provider going down in a single provider pipeline is exactly the same failure mode, but with one recovery point instead of 12. Diversification in infrastructure is smart. Diversification as an excuse to keep paying for a bloated stack you no longer need is cope. So here is where we land. The automation course era was a transitional period. Models were weak, context windows were small, and you genuinely needed middleware to fill the gaps. That period is ending. Veo 3 and Gemini 2.5 Pro are not incremental upgrades. They are capability jumps that collapse entire layers of the old pipeline into single inference calls. The people who built their brands teaching you the old way have every incentive to pretend this is not happening. They will rebrand. They will say their course now covers the new tools. But the architecture they taught is the thing that is obsolete, not just the specific tools. The real question, and I want an honest answer: are you still running a multi-tool pipeline because it actually performs better, or because you spent so much time building it that you cannot admit a single API call just replaced it?